If you still draw a cat like this video is for you. Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to draw. Because in this specific video we're drawing a cat, but this technique that I'm gonna show you will help you with any drawing that you'll be doing in the future. It will teach you how to draw literally anything just by looking at it. Step 1, we need a good reference. As a beginner, references are very, very important. You need to take the one that is suitable for you, and for that I will be making a file with good references. I haven't done that yet, but it will be coming up in the future, and any beginners, or maybe just not even beginners, but literally any artist in general, if you have a hard time finding good references, I will help you with that. I found this picture on Pinterest. Pinterest is our #1 helper when it comes to art because they have a lot of amazing references there. You just need to know what to look for. I usually look for a reference that has very strict lighting, you know, like you can clearly see where the shadow and the light is. Just like in this picture, we have very clear lighting here. First of all, I like to think of any item that I want to draw as if it was a box. So you see this cat is literally a box like this. My sketchbook has dots, which is very suitable for drawing perfect boxes. As you can see, the ear of the cat is in one corner and the tail is in the opposite corner. So we can draw a line like this and it will be our next guideline. This step is the most important one. We need to think of any item that we see as basic shapes. So you can see this cat is basically just 2 blobs, first one and second one. If we can draw those blobs, we can then define them and make them more detailed to actually look like a cat, and that's literally it. So I'll start by drawing the first blob, the bigger one. It takes up about this much space of the box, and after that I just need to draw the second blob, which includes the cat's shoulder and its head. The ear is touching the corner of the box, which means that the blob is about this big. It already looks kind of similar to the reference, but now we just need to keep working on it. We need to figure out which parts of the blobs are round and which parts are flat. So you see, this part is round. It's very round, so that's what we do. This part is straight. So here we draw a straight line. And then this one is more round. And just defining those shapes, rounds and flats, already builds up the picture. Now let's define the second blob. The neck is a bit round, so starting from the head, I'll do a round neck. The forehead is flat, so here we draw a flat line. Here we have the neck, and it just goes down like this and fades into the front paw. And make sure that the paws are on the same level because we don't want paws floating in the air. They have to be sat on the same level. This is already looking so much better than this. We need to identify in which direction the cat is looking. To do that, we draw a circle for the entire head, and then we need to draw a line like this. That is identifying the center of the cat's face. And then to see where the eyes are facing, we draw another line on the eye level. This is a guideline. We do the same for human faces, but that will be in another video. We can see that the forehead is sloping down quite drastically and creates this angular shape over here, which then fades into the nose, which has a bit of a softer angle. We can now erase the guidelines. Erase them very softly so that you can still kind of see them, but make sure that they don't take away the attention from the actual cat. From the nose, we draw this line, which tells us where the corner of the eye will be. The cat is looking down, so the top part of the eye will be just a straight line, but then the bottom part will be round. I think I drew the eye a bit too close to the nose, so I'm just gonna move it a little bit. This looks better. Let's check if the proportions are correct. If we draw a line from the bottom of the cat's head up to the forehead, the eye should be in the center of that line. As we can see, it did not end up in the center. I made the forehead a bit too big. So now I'm going to fix that. It's totally okay to make mistakes when you're drawing, as long as you know how to fix them. My ultimate life hack on how to figure out what's wrong with your drawing is try to think of everything as basic shapes. Find out where the centers of them are, and basically just do your geometry. As we can see on the reference photo, the eye of the cat is parallel to the ground. Is mine parallel to the ground? Not really. Let's fix that. So we do it a bit more up, and this time this line should be parallel to the ground, as we noticed. If you don't understand the anatomy of a mammal, of a four-legged mammal, you should probably go and search that up, because it actually really helps. As soon as you figure out which bone, which muscle goes where, it starts to make so much sense, as if why it looks like that on the drawing. So I highly recommend studying the anatomy of the animal that you want to draw before actually drawing the animal. I will definitely be making some more anatomy videos on this channel, so if that's something that you're struggling with, make sure that you subscribe. Yippee! I have a lot of good ideas and plans for what to make on this channel, and I really hope that my videos will actually be useful for people, because when I was a beginner artist, there were so many things that I was struggling with and things that just didn't really make sense. I just had to go with the flow and try to figure them out on my own. There were a few YouTubers that I was watching at the time when I was learning how to draw things and studying art, and those YouTube tutorials were helping me a lot. So I hope that I can be that person for somebody who is now trying to learn and understand art, because that was me at some point, and now I sell my paintings worldwide. So if you ever want to start drawing, just do it, okay? Practice makes perfect. I know you've probably heard this so many times, but that is absolutely true. But you don't want to just mindlessly be drawing whatever you see or whatever comes to mind, because if you don't really understand how to do it or how to learn on your mistakes and things like that, then it will not be helping you that much. That is why tutorials exist. You will understand what to look for when you are drawing, when you're trying to teach yourself how to draw, and just trying to understand how this whole thing works. And if you want to see tutorials on how to color the drawing properly, those will also be up on my channel someday. I also really like to just doodle a little bit on the ground like this, with some straight lines to show where the floor is, because that actually brings the drawing to life a bit more. Make sure that you don't only draw the floor right under the animal or whatever you're drawing, but also a little bit behind it to show more dimension. Make the floor darker near your drawing and then lighter as you go further away from it. That will indicate some sort of shading. More about shading will also be on my account. And you know, maybe by the time that you're watching this video, all those video ideas are already here on my account. So go check out for yourself. I don't know when are you gonna be watching this video. So maybe by the time you're seeing it, those other tutorials are already uploaded. I'm just quickly gonna shade this drawing and then we'll be done. I'm honestly just looking at where the light comes from and seeing which areas are lighter than the others, and that's pretty much it. When I'm starting to shade, I like to use the side of my pencil. Oh my god, look at this. I've used this side so much. But anyways, I like to use the side of my pencil rather than the tip of it to make like bigger shades, and then when I want to make them more precise and detailed, I use the tip of my pencil. And now I will go over the whole drawing with the tip of my pencil to make the more detailed lines. I only do that in the darkest areas of the drawing and in the areas that really need that definition. When we are drawing something that originally has strong lighting, it's important that we also give it a strong shadow. Ta-da! And just like that, we draw a cat. This was Arted by Alice. Bye!